Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. I believe a brand new budget model from Miguron, which if you're not familiar with Miguron, they make, in my opinion, some of the nicest budget knives dollar for dollar on earth, especially if you're looking at right around that $50 territory. Sometimes they do quite a bit less. So if you've never checked them out, I'll provide a link down in the description that just goes to Miguron knives in general. You can take a look at everything they've got. I'll also include this particular knife so that you guys can check that out. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Let's go ahead and get into this box. Always exciting when Miguron sends me a new model, or at least one that I've not handled, versus a variation of some past model, which I don't mind. Some of them are just too similar, right? So this is the Malory, or the M Malory. What color? Oh, I was hoping you sent me the blue one. Why? Because I like the look of this. I'm going to tell you, there's a couple of, oh man. So I looked at pictures and I thought that there's one element that I really want to highlight with enclosed position, but I'm so happy to tell you guys, even without getting this out of the package, I actually already like this even more in person. Yes, so this is something they did. I've got it right here. This is the Valona. Something they did that I love the looks of is they allowed for the liners underneath to shadow box the scales. I think they did it a little too much. They exposed a little too much material with that guy, but this guy is just about perfect. Oh, look at that titanium clip on there as well. Got a little fuller there. That is beautiful. So we have blue micarta here, even edge around the entire outside, so it's really highlighting that nice contoured scale there. That's just a really, really nice look. And we have what appears to be a black micarta or black G10 backspacer, titanium pocket clip, once again with no mounting position on the left-handed side. Come on. What are we doing here? We've got a flipper and we've got a fuller. Let's try the flipper first. Beautiful. Very, very cool. And do I detect a hollow grind? I do. A nice hollow ground. I'm going to call that a sheep's foot blade. Blade Shape Police have been after me for years for, you know, all of the wrongdoings that I've committed against the knife community in terms of mislabeling blades. And to you, I say, ha, ha, ha. You'll never catch me, you idiots. There's nothing you can do. Call this blade whatever you want. I'm going to call it a sheep's foot, but a hollow ground sheep's foot. Who's mean to say idiots? Hold on. I'm not gonna say that. I have respect for my enemies. I'm gonna call you all avocado people, and you can make of that what you will. I do like that classic blade profile, and you know what? I thought I just put my finger in here in this choked up position, and I thought I'm going to complain about that because it's not going to be big enough. It's a tight squeeze. There's no going back now. It is a little bit of a tight fit, but there is plenty of room to get your second knuckle in there. I'm talking about knives. I'm talking about knives, all right? Get your mind out of the gutter. You should be ashamed of yourself, you avocado. Listen. Usually when you have a flipper tab, right, that sort of precedes a forward choil, there's not enough room. They don't make these big enough, at least for my finger. But I like to be able to comfortably get up to the second knuckle without feeling like I'm risking running my finger up on the cutting edge. And that is actually the case here. This is a really good looking budget pocket knife. Nice access to the lock bar as well. Can you reverse flick it? Oh boy, you sure can. I like that thin little fuller there. I really do. 14C28N, and I looked up their HRC range, which is 58 to 60. And if you don't know, that's actually very, very good, very expected for 14C28N. 14C28N has a ridiculous range, if you didn't know, right? The lower end of the range is probably for makers, you know, looking to make a fixed blade out of it. But 14C28N does not have to be super hard for its elements to be accentuated properly. In this case, we have a nice and thin sheep's foot blade. 14C28N being probably one of the friendliest budget steels and beginner steels, right? It's actually a great steel all the way around, whether you're a beginner or not. But the beauty of this stuff is it is very, very tough when you compare the other elements of potential edge retention, corrosion resistance, all of that. It's very tough and very, very easy to touch up, but will maintain a reasonable edge and resist chipping or things that would, the result of it would be like a difficult and frustrating sharpening experience, which is not something that anybody wants, let alone, somebody who's like newer to the knife world. So it's a really friendly stainless composition. Probably one of the best that you can get under $75. Definitely some other contenders, but very, very good. So the combination of materials here, the nice micarta, the shadow boxing, the polished liners, which look really good. And by the way, I'm sure you guys are wondering, does the liner sticking out a bit result in uncomfortable ergonomics? I don't really notice it. I mean, kind of, but no part of the liner is like an abrupt edge. I mean, the liners themselves are beveled, right? So yeah, that's cool. Truthfully, the most offensive thing on this whole knife is just the fact that Miguron refuses to add mounting positions for left-handed people, which is frustrating for anybody, right? Frustrating for any knife company, knife design, especially for left-handed people. But yeah, access to the liner lock is good. I mean, Miguron does a good job with action anyway, right? I love that I have the ability to reverse flick it. It is sharp in there. You saw me. That the dust there was all the shavings from my fingernails coming off there. But you're getting a titanium pocket clip, shadow box, contoured micarta scales, a nice hollow ground 14C28N blade. And if the listing that I looked at was accurate, I think they want about $55 for this, which is right on the money. In fact, it's coming in about $5 to $8 less on average than what I see their competition coming in at. Miguron, again, offering titanium clips in price ranges where you don't expect it. They are literally one of the only companies out there offering a titanium clip. What's the benefit of that? Number one, it is milled and not stamped, so it's definitely a stronger clip. Number two, it's titanium, not going to rust. Not that pocket clips usually have an issue with corrosion, but mainly they're a lot more forgiving. Titanium in general is a lot more forgiving than a steel clip. I don't know about you guys, but I have walked by many, many things and busted many, many steel clips. Many of them Civivi because the bills are too high and the clip is made of steel. So once this bends out, that's basically it. A titanium clip, way less likely that it's going to happen. And titanium is also a more expensive material, especially considering, when it's milled. Even with this knife coming from China. Yeah, you know what? This is actually one of the more interesting releases from Miguron. I always say this, sorry, I cut that off at a weird point. One of the more interesting releases from Miguron in the budget territory recently is what I meant. Let's be specific about that. But when Miguron sends me a knife, their premium stuff is cool. It all tends to look kind of the same. And you could make that argument for the budget territory as well. But their claim to fame is execution and quality. They do a really good job with that. So when it is when it's translated correctly in the budget territory, that's when it really shines. They do such a good job at this roughly $50 price point. Very, very inviting and not scary to newer people. I remember coming into the knife world being new and being like, oh my God, I have no idea where to start. Miguron, great place to start because it gives you a good idea of what to expect, in terms of quality from a pocket knife, and you're not going to break the bank. So pretty cool. A lot of very preferable elements here. It's not going to be for everybody, right? They will probably do what they usually do and offer in the future. They'll do like a version of this that doesn't have a flipper, or has a front flipper or whatever. They will probably do that. But my guess is at the moment you can get this in a few different colors of micarta or G10. Looks to be pretty straightforward, a pretty obvious winner, but I will do my usual thing and get back to you guys within a couple of weeks with a full comprehensive review, which is a word that is apparently hard to say now. If you don't want to wait, that's fine. I'll link it in the description. You guys can check it out right now. That's going to be it for today, though, guys. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex and on TikTok at _metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.